Hey guys, welcome back to Vertical Momentum. I am your host, Richard Kaufman. Guys, this is going to be an amazing conversation with my friend Big Country Brian. Guys, are you in the game or are you out of the game? Are you guys competing every day or are you letting the competition roll over you? We're going to be talking to Brian, gold winner, amazing veteran, changing people, motivational speaker, changing the game. So definitely listen to this. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. So, because this is going to be a life-changing conversation. Brian, my brother, what is going on?
What's up, brother? Thank you. Thank you for having me on, man. This is really awesome.
Oh man, it's my honor. And I know you got a lot going on. You just came back from kicking ass, and you're about to start kicking ass again. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come today. First of all, what is your definition of resilience?
Man, just never, from literal experience, never quitting, always fighting through the pain and not letting life's negative moments not only ruin our day, but not letting life's negative moments ruin our life, to just push past that with every ounce of energy we got.
Now, we've known each other, I think, a couple of years now, and you inspire me. A lot of people don't know if they just see your picture, they just see you from the waist up, but they don't realize what's from the waist down. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I just want to say once again, thank you. You've been a great friend all these years, and I just wanted to say I truly appreciate your friendship. So talk to us a little bit about where you come from. Where did you grow up? What kind of little kid was Big Country when you were small country?
That's the first anybody's ever put it like that. I'm originally from Malden, South Carolina. Where I grew up.
Gamecocks or Clemson?
Clemson.
All right, guys, we got to go. It's been a great
show. Grew up in Malden, South Carolina. Shoot, man, just like every other kid in the 80s, man, outside playing in the woods, playing in the streets, not really paying any attention to video games. I mean, even when like Nintendo first came out, man, we really didn't care, man. We wanted to go outside. Grew up the first 12 years with my grandfather, who was a retired Navy veteran and a retired school teacher. Then I moved in with my dad at 13. Played basketball all my life, and moved up to North Carolina in '98 with my aunt. She needed a little bit of help around here, so come up here to help her for a little bit, and this is where I call home, right here in Mount Holly, North Carolina. Actually gave up a 4-year scholarship to David Lipscomb University to join the military. That was my first dream job. Always wanted to be a soldier, man. Even though my grandpa tried to push me to the Navy, always wanted to be a soldier. And
so talk to us about, because I love to hear everybody's recruiting story, and it sounds to me like you recruited yourself, so it wasn't a hard sell. So talk to us about your recruiting story, what job you took, and why.
Man, there's not really much of a recruiting story, man. I always loved playing in the woods and stuff like that, man. And as growing up, I was always bigger than everybody else. So I didn't want to put my big tail on those little bitty beds on the boat. I chose to be a power generator mechanic, something that was widely used all over the Army. Something that I could use on the outside as well. Always been tinkering with cars and messing with engines and stuff like that. Wanted to get into something a little bit serious. So that's, the reason why we took that job. Of course, we got to do a multitude. Everybody knows you wear multiple hats in the military. Just because you pick one job doesn't mean that that's all you're ever going to do. You wear 50,000 different hats in there. So.
Now, I think that's a great forward thinking, because for me, when I joined, I never thought about what I was going to do when I got out. So I became a tanker. And not many tanker jobs when you get out. But I think that was really smart of you to figure out, all right, I'm eventually going to get out, and at
Right.
least I'll have skill. So I thought that's pretty smart. So did you immediately take to the military?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That was, before I even got in, I was one of the few, I did ROTC. My first year ROTC at Brooklyn Case High School in South Carolina, made it all the way up to platoon sergeant, got a medal from the governor of leadership, made command sergeant major the entire school the following year. My sergeant major, my lieutenant colonel pulled me in the office and was like, yo, nobody's ever done this before. You got a real knack for this. I went to the little mini camps during spring break when everybody else was having fun, man. I was out at, little mini camps, and I knew my rank. I knew my general orders. I knew what I was getting into for the most part. I mean, of course, there's always surprises that you don't know about, but, going through that type of stuff through school and whatnot, we already knew.
All right. So now, like when I went to basic, I was known for the wrong reasons. I went to basic with long blonde hair, earrings. So when I got there, I stood out because my hair eventually turned orange. So they called me red all through basic. So I got picked on all through basic. So what was it like being one of the biggest guys going through basic? You couldn't exactly hide. So what was it?
No, there was no hiding. You got signaled out a lot. Now I wasn't very big. I mean, I was tall and skinny. But you stood above the rest, and whenever the drill sergeants were sitting there hollering at everybody, it felt like they were always looking at you. Because your head pops up everybody else, and it's like squeeze down here a little bit. It did end up being a platoon guide there for a while. So I got to show my leadership experience and stuff. They always wanted multiple people to have platoon guide experience, or at least the ones that they seem to feel that are there for the job, and not just, hey, this is a way out of life, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay. So now when you got on active duty, when you got to your station and you started getting into the daily routines of being a soldier, for me, I was into health and fitness back then. So when everybody else was drinking beer, or they were drinking, they were partying, I'm taking creatine, I'm taking protein powders, I'm reading Muscle Magazine, and they're reading other stuff. I can't say what it is. But that was my thing. Did you start getting into health and fitness during your military service?
During the service, yeah. Right off the bat, no. I did my first year in the service. So I got out of basic and AIT 2 weeks before Christmas of 06. I did 2007 in reserves here in Charlotte. And then 2008, I went active duty, went straight to Germany. They actually gave me Germany. That's where I wanted to go. Not at first, man. I mean, it was, new country, you're traveling around, you're trying and tasting different things. Right as I got to Fort Lee, Virginia, that's where the fitness part took over. That's where I hit my first, big push forward in the military. Went to Fort Bragg for WLC, was given a bunch of military classes and stuff like that, man. That's where I really, really jerked a knot in my butt and said, okay, this is where we push forward. And PT became really, really easy. I wasn't a big runner, but when it came to your strength training and conditioning training and stuff like that, man, it was just, I was beasting it in the gym all the time and whatnot. Started getting big and whatnot. So the fitness part really hit whenever I got to Fort Lee. Of course, everybody goes to the gym whenever you're deployed. So that's like a must.
Obviously, you've done a couple deployments. You did a lot of stuff, but also, like I mentioned earlier, people only see you from the neck up, but they don't see you from the top down. So please talk to us about your journey.
So January 7th, 2014, I was stationed in Fort Riley. Was going to get my guys some lunch, and if anybody knows anything about Fort Riley, Trooper Drive going down towards the commissary PX and stuff, there's a really big ravine that sits off to the right, and I hit black ice and ran off that ravine, going to get my guys some lunch, and took my left leg above the knee and really screwed up my right leg from the kneecap down to the ankle. I got 30 screws, 4 plates, and a 10-inch rod on my right side. Can't feel my foot, so it's pretty much like having a BK on that side. They sent me to KU Med to get surgeries and stuff done, and just kind of sat there for a couple of months. And on my birthday, March 17th, 2014, they sent me down to the Audie Murphy VA down in San Antonio, where I spent all the way up until the middle of September, and came out, had another knee surgery, went right back into another facility to get rehab, and came out about mid-January 2015. So I pretty much spent a whole year in the hospital, except for maybe like 2 weeks. Did some time at the CFI, the Center for the Intrepid on Fort Sam Houston, and they'd already started my bed board before I even got out of the hospital. So the therapy and stuff like that was really crappy. Nobody really wanted to take a lot of time to look at things and the mechanics of how I'm working and stuff. So about 90% of what I've done on my own. You got a therapist just telling you to go upstairs and walk. I mean, there's not really much going to be done. These are the guys, the doctors and stuff down there are telling me, oh, well, you're just not ever going to really walk again, man. Gained a lot of weight, ended up getting over 400 pounds because I wasn't active. I wasn't out there running. I wasn't out there doing PT. Just eating whatever the hell I wanted to eat. I was like, well, if I'm going to enjoy something in life, it's going to be food. At least it's something I can do. Man, by the time we got home, October 2015, man, the first few years was really, really tough. Having to be dependent on people whenever it comes to living, watching people come in and out of your life that you think cares about you. 2019 was in 2020 was like 2 really hard years for me. Had an ex, swindle money from the account to move to another state, and had best friends of 20 plus years, stealing stuff out of your house that you're not even aware of because you're still, not that coherent with what's going on. And 2020 went into a big depression, man. The biggest depression of my life.
Right. I want to hop back real quick. First of all, I want to say, when I got promoted to NCO, I really took the NCO creed to heart. I always put my guys first, and I was always last. And I'm still that way today. Even I won't even eat dinner until my wife is eating. So I still take that. So I want to say, thank you for being that NCO. That's why when you see me, I'm writing stuff down, because if I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember.
Right on.
But I want to hop back, because once we get, like Sergeant Nick from our group says, once you step off base, the military doesn't give a shit about you. Your phone stops ringing. You lose the camaraderie. You lose your career. And now you pretty much have no mission. So was that kind of like what your transition was like?
Absolutely. I mean, you have a few people that check on you from time to time at first. But yeah, I mean, he couldn't hit that more on the nose. Your phone goes quiet finally. Yeah, no more calls from Private Joe. Hey, Sergeant, I kind of crashed my car from drinking last night or something. I mean, it is, man. It's your purpose is gone too. You got to find something. Being retired that early on in life, man, it's hard.
And like when I got hurt, I would have done 30, but I only got to do 23 because the military said you can't see, you can't shoot, we don't need you. Yeah. But sitting in that warrior transition unit for a year and a half, like a lot of people played cards. They did all these things. For me, I wanted that personal development, and I wanted to start improving my brain. So what was going through, I don't know what they called it when you went through, but what was it like going through, sitting in the hospital by yourself, a lot of time alone in your own head, which is probably a scary place to be. So what was that year and a half like going through that? And a lot of it going through that alone.
Man, honestly, that part wasn't that bad. I got a lot of support from the people from the Audie Murphy VA. That's where I spent most of my time at. So I had some therapists and stuff in there. I'm not going to go into detail, man, but home life wasn't that great. My wife at the time was already cheating and whatnot. So that part really wasn't that bad, man. It was the aftermath. It was after getting out and after getting away from everything that, everything really sunk in.
All right. So now because I always love the comeback story. Before we go on, I want to thank our sponsors. As you guys know, I was in the health and fitness industry for over 30 years, and I've drinking every energy drink on the planet, and I choose one, and it's by my friend Jason Lane Curtis of Bonvera. It's this energy drink. It's called Physics Zero. It tastes like Sprite. I don't know if I can say that, but it's great energy. Great energy, no crash, no sugar. And it's the only drink that I will drink today. So if you guys love energy drinks, definitely check out Physics Zero. I know that they are sponsoring you, correct?
Yes. Jason's doing a thing. Shoot him a little promo code Big Country 25. And let him know that's how they know that you've heard it from us. And he does like a little $5 donation towards my competition fees and stuff like that for next year for every case.
So Jason Lane Curtis, Physics Zero, guys. If you love energy drinks, make sure you pick it up. Second person I want to thank is Mr. Robert Garcia, the warrior strategist. Without him, I would not have this show. Without him, I would not be able to do what I'm doing today. Having Brian on, having people like David Meltzer on, John Lee Dumas. It's all because of Robert Garcia. So, guys, if you are a veteran, and even if you're not a veteran, and you want to find out how to become a expert or celebrity in your field, look up Robert Garcia, the warrior strategist. And he also has a great product called Design Your Paycheck. He will teach you actually how to start and run a profitable business. So I just want to give big shout outs to Robert Garcia because he actually set this interview up. So Robert, love you, brother. Thank you. So now talk to us, because a lot of people would think, wait a minute, you lose the use of your legs, my life is over. I'm not going to compete. I'm just going to start feeling sorry for myself. Just like me, when I lost my vision, I could have just rolled over and said, you know what? I'm just going to lay in bed and not do anything in life. So what was your come to Jesus moment?
It was October 1st, 2020. I was in that moment. I was, the last few months of 2020 was in that, this is it. I can't keep friends, family doesn't want to be around, and I sit there and I got really pissed off at myself. I was like, you know what, this is my fault. This is my fault for not trying harder. So I first thing I want to do was to prove the doctors wrong. I was like, there's got to be some way, somehow that I could stand up and take some steps. So that's exactly what I've done here in this house. Rolled over to the little top bar on in my kitchen and pulled myself up and just used the walls, man. Was just using the walls to bounce myself off of. I fell a lot, but it taught me the balance that I needed to learn. It taught me how to use this right side to be able to walk again. And it didn't take me that long. I was just that determined. From the time I got up, we tried for a little bit, sit down and rest and do those routines to where on my son's 20th birthday, I rolled into the dining room, slipped my leg on, jumped up, and we'll come walking around the corner. And he was the first person to see me up on my feet and walking around. So that'll always be a special moment between me and my son.
Now, a lot of people, once they start realizing, I need to change, I'm doing something and the something that I'm doing is not working anymore. And a lot of people don't realize that, you have to clear the wreckage of the past before you can start moving on to the future. So what was that like? What were some of the first steps? Because, the body will go wherever the mind tells it to go. So obviously you had to start upgrading your mindset. So what were some of the initial steps that you took in changing your mindset?
Well, actually, started taking my own advice from a lot of the motivational speaking that I was doing a couple of years beforehand. I walked in the bathroom and looked at myself. I was like, dude, you're a badass. You got this. It was, it was to the point to where it was, I don't really care what anybody else has got to say about it anymore. I don't care what, the little snickers that I hear about me being in my chair or about me being overweight or whatever the case was. A lot of people let other people's opinions influence their lifestyle. And, let me try to phrase this the right way. You can live your own life and not be an asshole. But then again, let me rephrase that. The only people's opinions that matter should be your significant other and your kids. As long as they have your back and they have your support like mine has mine, then who cares what anybody else has got to say? I don't mean to say that in an asshole-ish way, but, I don't. What people used to have to say and the way they thought about me doesn't matter. I'm trying to show my children, all 6 of them, that it doesn't matter what's put in front of you in life. If you dig down deep and you love yourself and you respect yourself and you push as hard as you can push, you can achieve your dreams. I'm achieving my second dream now, being a professional para-athlete. I mean, I'm having a blast. But it doesn't matter what other people think about me, as long as I'm helping others in the process and trying to inspire others to get up off their butt and do something instead of sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, then that's the gold medal for me. Yes, it's awesome to go out here and compete and win these gold medals and stuff like that, but I want to be able to show people and give people that glimpse of hope that I've had, that it's us. We have to be responsible for it ourselves. And once you get to that point where you're working hard and other people see how hard you're working, then you start surrounding yourself with people who actually want to see your dreams come true. That's where you find your battle buddies, your real friends and stuff like that. Everybody has bad moments in life. Everybody's done something stupid in life. It's our responsibility to stand back up and take control of that and to push forward.
And one thing, I've done over 500 interviews. I've had Purple Heart recipients, gold medal winners, all kinds of athletes. And a lot of them, they tell me, Rich, I got the gold medal, but after I won it, it was the process that I missed the most. I don't really care about the gold medal that much. It was the process. And a lot of people, don't realize that in life, today is the only day that we have. Yesterday does not exist. Tomorrow does not exist.
Yep.
So enjoy the process and being hyper, hyper vigilant about today. So talk to us about enjoying the process. And, like for me, like when I started bodybuilding years ago, I would love every set, every rep, I would look forward to every meal, every pre-workout, because I actually enjoyed the process. So talk to us about, winning the gold, but also enjoying the process along the way.
Sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger there for a minute, man. I love watching his videos. He's got a lot of good motivational stuff in there about stuff. The process is fun, man. Just like you in the gym, working out, going in and digging in, and over a period of time, seeing the changes. Arms getting bigger, traps getting bigger, chest getting bigger. You're getting stronger. The other day was my first day back in the gym. I felt like I could lift the whole damn building. And then it's the people that come in behind you. Like you were talking a few minutes ago about Robert Garcia. He's been following me here for a little bit. He's helped me out with quite a few things and been an absolutely amazing man, along with Justin Myers and
Savage Shakers, baby. Savage Shakers.
Yep. Savage Shakers and Signs by Veterans is our newest sponsor. They've done some amazing things so far. American Bears Apparel, Physical Zero, 1776 Sports Nutrition. It's actually putting together this team, and the team being there to support you through this process too. And it pumps me up even more. To have that, to see the people that actually have been watching you over a period of time and seeing the progress that you've made. Now it's not only are you just representing yourself, but you're representing these amazing companies and just beasting it out, man. I think I think having the people back me up right before I left to go out to Arizona, man, just made it that much more easier for me. And it's going to be the same way when we head out to Florida next month for the Warrior Games. There's a big ticket being talked about right now. Me and Planet Fitness is actually fixing to go into a contract. So we got a big franchise fixing to step up to come behind us.
Yep.
Justin's going to be my manager on that, and Robert's going to be handling my PR and everything. So I got some amazing men behind me on this, man. So that way we can get to wear the colors again.
Yep. And I just wanted to say real quick is I'm one of the board of directors of Savage Shakers. We're coming out with some hot items. If you guys love shaker cups, everybody, like for me, I got a shaker cup for my protein. I got one for my BCAAs, one for my pre-workout, and the ones that we're coming out with, they're dishwasher safe. They hold everything. They're amazing. They have some cool sayings on them, and we're also, because I don't know if you've ever gone through this, you lose those little shaker balls.
Yeah.
And what we're actually doing, we're actually making 3 and 5, and we're actually selling them separately, so you'll never have to go without one of those shaker balls again. And a portion of everything that Savage Shaker does goes back to helping veterans, and we are a veteran-owned company. So also, if you love the color pink, if you have anybody that's struggling with breast cancer, we have a special shaker for breast cancer, and proceeds go to help women struggling with breast cancer. So I just wanted to put that out there. Since you brought it up, I had to put
Well, I mean, y'all are, man. Y'all doing some great stuff. The shakers are just epic, man. Nobody else is doing that out there, and it's just like like hell. I was telling I was telling my wife the other day, I got to get me a little shelf to put right up underneath my supplements and stuff like that, so I can start doing my little collections.
All right, now because I'm a big sport. Like I said, I'm a big supplement geek. I ran a GNC for over 30 years. So talk to us about because we're not 20 years old anymore.
No.
So and obviously you want to stay in shape, but you also want to stay alive. You got 6 kids, you got a beautiful bride, you want to live a great life. So what kind of supplements do you take to not only get bigger and stronger, but to stay healthy?
Well, everything I take comes from 1776 Sports Nutrition. I linked up with Kevin and them over there because they're still a fairly new company and whatnot. I linked up with them because of how they're doing their ingredients to their supplements. Their pre-workout, the AT4. Have you ever seen a pre-workout with a multivitamin in it? Seriously?
No.
Well, that's exactly what AT4 is. They've gone through the process to take out a lot of the stuff that actually strains your body. I know everybody loves pre-workout, but it does put a strain on your heart, your body. Blood pressure goes up. The way they've done theirs, it doesn't do that. It still gives you that energy. It doesn't have a lot of caffeine in it, but the multivitamin and the ingredients that they put in there still gives you that little energy boost. And your body's actually getting the vitamins and nutrients in it that it should be. Kind of like with what Jason's done with Physics Zero. He's took out all that crap from all these other companies and refinagled his formula to make it to where it actually helps the body instead of destroys it in the process. I do their pre-workout. I do their ECAAs during my workout. I will take a shaker bottle and have it with me in the gym. They got a nice little multivitamin. Just come out with some awesome creatine. I don't go really heavy on a lot of supplements. Take a little bit of protein powder, but the only time I really do my protein shakes is when I don't have the time to cook or meal prep. I want most of my protein and stuff like that to come from my food sources. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Oh, I'm going to fit in 4 double scoops of protein shakes in a day, and that's 200 grams of protein right there, but you're still not getting the rest of what you should be, the nutrients like you do from your food. That's why I eat 6 times a day. That's why I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning so I can start eating. So that way we're not having to shove it in, and feel bloated all day long. The nutrition part of it, man, it's everybody's different. Everybody's body works a different way.
Yeah.
We can take the basics to everybody, but it has to be recalculated as we see how people's bodies acts differently towards carbs. Some people blow up when they eat carbs. Some people don't.
Yeah.
It just depends on the body, man. But we've almost got it down to a science to where we just keep getting bigger and stronger. Watching our heart stuff. I mean, now that we're in our 40s,
yeah,
keep having the doctors keep an eye on things, especially seeing how we go and we exert ourselves, 5 to 6 days a week.
Now, for me, carbs are my enemy. I can look at a slice of pizza and put on 5 pounds. As I get older, I'm 53 now, so I got to really watch out for my carbs. I still have a cheat day, once a week, sometimes twice a week. But first of all, I want to talk about, I'm a big personal development guy. I have a lot of friends that are in personal development, like, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins, people like that. And like Mr. James Clear wrote a book called Atomic Habits. And he talks about how 40% of your day is just your habits. So even if you just change 1% a day at the end of a year, you're a totally different person. But like I've been told that what you do right before you go to bed and what you do when you wake up in the morning will define how your day goes. So talk to us what a day in the life of Big Country is like. When you wake up in the morning, what is your routine and what is your evening routine?
Waking up, like I said, I'm up about 3 o'clock in the morning. I chug a bottle of water, get those organs, going, waking everything up. I have a thing what I call Big Country's concoction. It's one measurement. It's a quarter cup. So you take a scoop of protein powder, quarter cup of 2% milk, quarter cup of oats, and a quarter cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. You actually make that the night before you go to bed. Stir it up, leave it sit in there. When you wake up, when you're drinking that bottle of water, eat that. It's a good source of protein, good source of the carbs and some of your essential fats to go ahead and get that in the body as well. Get that body in that fat burning process. And then about 45, 50 minutes later, I'm eating my first meal, which usually consists of anywhere between a half a dozen to about 8 eggs, mostly egg whites except for 2. Get that in, same meal a couple hours later. And then we're in the gym about 2 to 3 hours after that. Go in there, weight train for a couple hours to get a little bit of cardio in. Depending on what the day has, with either kids' doctor's appointments or whatnot, is how the rest of it goes, and how we flex, practice and stuff. I just got back from practice with my throwing coach, Adrian Wilson, yesterday. She's a 5-time world women's champion in the Highlander Games and one of the biggest para sports coaches out there. She's definitely amazing. But then we just, we slide the throwing in, either one of my sons will come out with me during the day, or, we definitely get out on the weekends when the wife's home, to get up and go throw. We do our meals. Our meals for the rest of the day usually consist of about 12 ounces of ground turkey with a cup of jasmine rice. We do that about 2 times. And then we kind of we try to leave supper up to the kids. We hear what they want, then we turn around and we make it healthy. So if they want barbecue chicken, for the night, then we'll go grill some chicken or something, man. We try not to make everything, strict for them to eat. We have to take the kids' consideration and stuff, man. We have our cheat meals. We don't have a cheat day. We have cheat meals. We do those twice a week. And it's good to do that. It keeps your body guessing. I don't do cheat days because that's really throwing your body into overload of, oh, holy crap, I've been eating shit all day long. And a lot of unnecessary calories out of that, man. So me and the wife we'll pick a date night to go out somewhere and eat a meal and whatnot, and then we'll do one with the kids. We'll have like a pizza night or something like that. Little family night. But that's about it, man, until it's time to go and leave compete. Like, I'll be flying out on the 16th of August, so we'll get things straightened up and whatnot around here for the wife and the kids and stuff, and then we'll be packed up. We'll be gone through the 29th, so we'll be gone for about 13 days this time around. So,
but now a lot of people, they'll get in the gym, they'll work out, they'll do everything, but they don't realize how important recovery is. They don't understand how important sleep is.
Absolutely.
And, and a lot of people, for me, I've realized that, the quality of my life equals the quality of my sleep. And, so talk to us a little bit about what your preparation is getting ready for bed. And because that's when you actually grow. That's when you actually recover, is when you're at rest. So talk about how important recovery is and how do you recover?
It is. About an hour before I go to bed, I'll fix one of my protein shakes. And I'm not just saying, hey, let's go dump some powder and drink some milk. We throw some fruits and some greens and stuff that in there to help antioxidants. And we'll drink that about an hour before bed. So that way the body has a little bit of time to digest it before bed. Um, but by the time we're laying down and we're sleeping, it's good to have that protein source and stuff like that within your body. Like you said, that's one of the biggest times that we grow. Our body's feeding off that protein and whatnot. I have to at least get 6 hours of sleep. I have to. Even if I wake up, I still have, dreams and stuff like that, just like a lot of other people do. So if I'm up for an hour or so at night, I make sure I sleep an extra hour or whatnot, during the day. But you're right about that. That's the biggest part of when we grow is when we're asleep. Just like my inflammation, my swelling and stuff in my leg, man. I can be swole up as a big old pig, but by the time I wake up, everything's gone. Your body's had time to shut down and repair itself.
Okay, so now tell us exactly, because a lot of people be like, what the heck is, the games that you are involved in? There's people are probably thinking, well, I've seen powerlifting before. I've seen the world's strongest man. So what are you talking about?
Well, parasports is honestly, it's just like every other sport. It's just for people with disabilities. Like the couple of videos that I put up over my powerlifting events last week, our feet don't touch the ground. Our legs are strapped to the bench. I compete against people who have lower extremity issues. So parasports is amazing. The Paralympics actually showed them for the first time when they were in Tokyo last. If you haven't got to watch any videos, just go in there and Google Paralympics, parasports. I throw disc, shot put. The only difference is I don't spin. I throw from a throwing frame. It's a frame that's been customized, built for me. It is ratcheted. It is anchored to the ground so it doesn't move. And then when I sit into it, I'm anchored onto the chair so I can throw with full force and not have to worry about falling over. Not everybody in parasports throws from a throwing frame. It just depends on what your disabilities are. But they have every sport just like the Olympic has. They have swimming, shooting, biking, racing, track and field events, powerlifting. It's the same. They just have things modified so it's safer for us to compete. It's still grueling. I mean, you still have to lift. You still have to train. It's not just because it's for people with disabilities. That doesn't mean that we're not out here busting our ass every day. This is kind of like a chill day for me, but it's something else. We have we have soccer, rugby, basketball, wheelchair basketball. That wheelchair rugby is something else, man. I actually got to see a real match face to face, and they don't play, man. They ram them wheelchairs into each other, and if you're not careful, you get busted up a little bit. But we have an amazing time doing it. We have fun doing it and meeting other people with disabilities like ours, man. You're always finding new tricks to the trade on how to take care of yourself.
Now, I've interviewed several NPC bodybuilders, IFBB pros, Jimmy Mentis. I've had Mr. Charu. He actually has the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world, the Charu Classic. He was on. I've had Mr. Jay Cutler, Mr. Olympia 4 times. But being an athlete is a 24-hour-a-day job.
It is.
And meal prep, cooking, shopping. A lot of people don't realize that this is a job. This is what you do, and it's not cheap.
Oh,
so how do you, besides feeding 6 kids and your beautiful bride, how do you, obviously you get some supplements from the sponsors, but they're not going to pay for your food. So how do you afford doing what you do?
Well, that's a big thanks to Justin Myers. He donates $200 a month to me now, which actually helps out. whenever it comes to training costs and stuff like that and competition costs. He's a prior Olympian himself, as you know. That was one of the things that me and him sat down and talked about. It's just like, man, I'm going to donate this, man. I know what it's like, cost of training and nutrition and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, the nutrition part of it, man, that's just where we fit in our budget. I'm medically retired. My wife has got a nice job. Her diet plan's not that far away from mine. She works out and stays healthy and stuff like that herself. And thankfully the kids are really not that picky. So,
okay.
It's, being able to push some of the habits off on them too, as well, is great, man. But it is the diet part of it. I can go to the grocery store for 2 weeks and easily spend $400. Just from the ground turkey and the chicken and the rice and, the vegetables and stuff. And people think, well, wait a minute, that's really not, it adds up. It definitely adds up. That was a 3-pound pack of ground turkey, the 93.7 runs about $14 right now. And I'll go through a whole container of that in a day and a half. So you have to sit there and count up 14 days. Okay, one container is a day and a half. You still got 7 more containers to go. And that's just 2 meals out of the day. I'll go through a pack of 60 eggs in 10 days.
And the price of eggs doubled almost. Because I got a friend, he owns a restaurant. He's like, the price of eggs has almost doubled for it. Yeah. So it's not cheap. So now that's going to go to our last question. How do we support you? How can we support your mission? And how do we find you?
Well, I'm all over the place. Facebook, Brian Big Country Conwell, or Sergeant Big Country. Instagram is Sergeant Big Country. TikTok is Sergeant Big Country Official. We number one, I want to give the shout out to the sponsors. If y'all hit the Linktree link in my bio, that takes you to all my sponsors. Promo code Big Country 25 across the board. Nick Valentine just got through putting together a fundraiser that I'm going to be sharing out later today that he has started up for me. There is a Venmo within the Linktree that if people just want to make small donations here and there, they can do that through Venmo. I have a separate account with Charlotte Credit Union that, all my competition and stuff, even my merch, the people that get our merch, all that extra that goes into this account that helps pays for competition fees, travels and hotel, because it's expensive to get out there. I was fortunate this year getting picked up for a camp before the Desert Challenge that was by the Paralympic Committee. Ended up paying for everything. Some of these competitions, just travel and hotel stays around $1,700. But that depends on where you're going though too. But there's that way to link up with us and whatnot. We'll have some more fundraisers going on through the year. I know Planet Fitness is fixing to do one for me here really soon. They've done a T-shirt with our logo and their logo on there. That's gonna be going in 4 different gyms for about a couple of months, just to help raise some funds and whatnot. People want to throw fundraisers or something like that. All they have to do is get a hold of me and we'll set something up. Like I said, I'm fixing to post one that Nick Valentine just got through creating for us. Pretty cool Army veteran, owns a semi-pro basketball team down in Texas. He's a big entrepreneur, really cool guy.
Sergeant Nick is the guy I was talking about earlier. He also owns Operation Phantom Support. So definitely check out Nick Valentine.
Absolutely.
Shout out. Love you, brother. Okay, so now talk to us about this competition coming up and what you got coming up in the future.
All right. So August 19th through the 28th at the ESPN Complex, Orlando, Florida, is the DoD Warrior Games. Is one of the biggest competitions of the year. all 5 branches, active duty and veterans with disabilities, get together and form a team for their specific branch. Of course, I'm Team Army. We did invite Canada down this year, so we're adding Canada to the mix, which is going to make it even bigger. So we'll be down there for a couple of weeks competing against the different branches. Same events: shot put, disc, track and field, swimming, shooting, basketball, volleyball, rugby, just like anything else in parasports. It's one of the big ones of the year. Actually, my last competition for the year. I go into my off season after that, which is the 1st of September, getting ready to do this again next year. I will be doing a lot of meets from the Track and Field Association, which I'm a member of. Those are sanctioned events throughout the states that keep our throws or your time records or whatnot on cue. Our main goal is to make it to the World Championships in 2024. If we place there, then we make Team USA to go to the Paralympics in Paris. That's the end goal, is to make it to the 2024 teams. But we'll be doing the National Wheelchair Games again next year. Hopefully be doing the Warrior Games again next year. You do have to compete for your spot on Team Army or Team Navy. You do have to compete for that. So we'll be geared up for the Army trials next year, along with the Track and Field Associations. We'll be going back to Arizona for the Desert Challenge. That was an international competition. I took gold in men's disc against 12 other countries, which was, being my first international competition. That was a big boost of confidence within myself. I trained really hard for that, and actually got to go out and train with a D1 coach from San Diego State. And Mr. Bill, his son was a 3-time Olympian. He trained him in men's disc. So we get to work with some amazing people. We got some really cool competitions coming up next year. And if I can, real quick, if you're a person with disabilities or a veteran with disabilities and you want to get into sports and stuff like this, please hit me up on my Instagram account. Shoot me a message so that way I can point you in the right direction to get involved in this sports. It's absolutely amazing. The camaraderie is almost just like in the military. Yes, we're there competing with each other, but when we're not on the competition field, it's fun, it's laughter. It's that camaraderie is actually there. Any way that I can get somebody in the position where I'm at right now, just hit me up. Love to help you out.
I also want you to give a big shout out to your coach, because I believe, even the greats, like, I'm a big sports geek, even guys like Tom Brady, they want to be coached up.
Mm-hmm.
Even Tony Robbins has a coach.
Absolutely.
And we all need coaches. So I know you gave a big shout out to your coach, and I don't remember her name, so can you please shout her out again?
So Adrienne Wilson is my throwing coach. She is a 5-time world women's champion in the Highlander Games. She has taught me a lot about throwing. I also work a little bit with Joe Ken. He's my strength coach. He used to be the Panther strength coach. So big shout outs to him and his gruesome workouts that he sends over. And I tell you, they will beat you up. And everybody else who's helped us out from there. Jackie Meggett, our coach at the VA, the adaptive sports coordinator, he's taught us a lot as well.
All right. So like I said, I just wanted, I always want to give the shout outs just so people know that they're loved and appreciated. Because a lot of people, they don't see the people behind the scenes. They just see the athlete, but they don't see the coaches that work just as hard getting them into shape. So I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors again. Physics Zero, guys, you can't get any better than that. If you love energy drinks, no sugar, no crash, tastes amazing. Robert Garcia, Robert, without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So thank you, Robert Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. He's everywhere. Check him out. And also, because you brought him up, I didn't bring him up. Savage Shakers. Thank you guys for supporting us. We're a brand new company, but I think we got a lot of things coming up. We're trying to get into every GNC. We're trying to be everywhere, and we are a veteran-owned company that are helping veterans. We're not putting money we're putting our money where our mouth is at.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say, Brian, brother, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you, and you're truly amazing. And I'm actually just talking to you. I might start getting back involved in some kind of sporting, even though I have vision issues.
And and that's the part about para sports, brother, is that's one of our categories is vision impaired, man. We have a category in para sports, so that way if anybody with any type of disability can come out and play. People with cerebral palsy, people with MS, people with amputations, people who can't hear, like yourself, people that have vision issues. We have a way for everybody to compete. And if you want to compete, brother, I would absolutely love to get you to the National Wheelchair Games next year in Portland, Oregon.
Definitely. I'm thinking, because like I said, I'm on the board of Savage Shaker, so maybe I'll have to show up and hang out. But guys, so if you guys are watching this, please get back in the game. Stop sitting on the sideline, whether it's in business, whether it's in life. Start competing again. Because when you're competing, you have something to look forward to. And like my T-shirt says, today I decided to get up and compete to become one of the best podcasters in the world. And I decided to interview Mr. Brian and help him do what he does. So guys, like I said, the three most important words in the English language are today I decided. And guys, like I always leave with a quote from Mrs. Oprah Winfrey. She says, if you want to help yourself, help somebody else. So guys, please, if you know anybody out there that's struggling, reach out to them today, because you just might save a life. Brian, I'm so grateful and honored to be your friend, man. And this was fun.
Here, brother.
So guys, make sure you follow Brian. He's on Facebook, Instagram. He's everywhere. Make sure you follow him. Get some of his merch, because everybody loves cool merch. So pick up his merch. And also, if you guys love energy drinks, pick up energy drinks, and it also helps him. So it's a win-win situation. All right, guys, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. And remember, vertical momentum, the only way to go is but up. Look at the guns, baby. It's the gun show. All right, Brian, have a great week.
You too, brother.